I've been living here in Japan for about 6 months now, and I wanted to share how my Japanese has been progressing since arriving here. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, I posted a video about 3 months earlier about my progression 3 months in to living in Japan of how my Japanese has been. And since then, it has improved quite a bit. It has come along pretty well since I arrived to Japan, and I wanted to share a little bit of how that progression has been. As I mentioned before, I started studying Japanese since the beginning of the year of 2025, knowing that I was going to move here in April. And I would say the first 4 months before arriving here, the progression has actually been pretty slow because it's not like I was studying every day. I would sometimes go to the community college class that my dad was taking. So he was actually taking Japanese, and I would go once a week for that. I would have lessons once a week, private lessons with someone who's been studying Japanese for a long time. And every once in a while, I'll study on my own. So I knew some words. I was picking up a little bit of Japanese, but honestly, it really doesn't compare to increasing my Japanese skills since arriving here in Japan. So the past 6 months, the progression has dramatically increased. I mean, it has improved so much compared to the 4 months that I started in America. So it doesn't even compare. I mean, once you're immersed in the culture and actually having to hear and speak Japanese every day, then I think the skill level, you're kind of forced to get better quickly. That is if you're more intentional. So for me, since arriving here, I've been studying every day. I've been using the Genki textbook, the first part of it, and just studying every day and reading, writing, and speaking. I would have a separate notebook on the side where I would write down the sentences of all the grammar rules that are associated with the Japanese language. And you also have to learn, obviously, hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So, in that progression with the three writing systems, I pretty much have hiragana and katakana down. Although my reading skills are still not as well as it should be, it's not that well versed, but I could definitely read it. It's just I read at a very slow pace, at a very elementary level, like maybe at like a kindergarten baby level, but I could still read it and I could comprehend a little bit. So in terms of reading, there's still a long way to go. Because I've been practicing writing on the notebook of all the sentences and the examples off the textbook, the writing has improved quite a bit. And the writing obviously helps with the reading and the speaking because you have to write down the characters and you have to know what it sounds like and you have to memorize the characters off reading what you write. So I think the writing also helped me to retain the information a lot better because how I'm kind of wired is it really helps for me to write things down to help me keep the information in my head. So that's why I, instead of just reading through the textbook, actually writing down the sentences, actually writing down the characters, really did help me enhance my Japanese learning. And so I've been doing that pretty much at work if there's some free time in the office hours. So I would do that. Obviously, having to speak Japanese with the natives here where I live, that also forces me to have to improve and know certain words because there's a lot of words in the beginning that I don't know. But slowly, each and every day, you pick up on a vocabulary word and you pick up on how to construct sentences, or you said something wrong, and you realize, oh, I'm missing this particle here that makes a difference of what you're trying to say, and has an entirely different meaning. So just picking up on those little things and making those adjustments each and every day has helped me to refine the me just being able to speak and being able to communicate a lot better. So before, once arriving here, it's like you can't really communicate. All you could say is just hello and thank you and how are you, konnichiwa, arigato gozaimashita, you know, all these like greeting phrases that you need to learn just to introduce yourself, right? And that obviously has expanded where I could say sentences like, "Oh, how was your game yesterday?" Kino wa or kino game wa dodeshita ka. So like stuff like that. And it's not perfect. Like I might have butchered that sentence, but it's better than when I first started when I didn't know anything at all. So you could ask things like, "Oh, what are you doing after school?" or "What did you do last week?" So those are things that I wasn't able to say my first time here, but now 6 months in, I could say those sentences, and they're able to understand me and have a little bit of a dialogue in Japanese, whereas before I couldn't do that at all. And so use a mixture of English and Japanese, hence Nipponglish, as you could phrase it. So a little bit of both, a little bit of English added with the Japanese, and if you run into some Japanese people that know a little bit of English, you could get by the conversation by adding a little bit of English with the Japanese, and you can be able to communicate that way. And if they know a little bit of English, they'll add some English to the Japanese, and it's a mixture of the two. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and it has progressed quite a bit. Where I feel a bit more confident with communicating in Japanese. But with that being said, there's such a long way to go. I do have the hiragana and the katakana, and I'm starting to learn all the kanji characters, and there's thousands of them. But I probably know less than 50, right? Like off the top of my head. But it's like one character at a time. I'm just learning and learning and trying to refine the grammar rules and to be able to say sentences that make sense. And so now I'm at a point just trying to learn the kanji characters, trying to refine the grammar rules, trying to gain more vocabulary, and because every day there's always another vocabulary word that I don't know. And I try to, if I don't know it, then I look it up and say, "Hey, what does this mean?" And I try to memorize it and add it to my memory of Japanese vocabulary. And so it's been slowly growing. There are days where it feels like, oh man, I've been here 6 months, and it's just like, I wish I was a little better so I could understand conversations better, or I could communicate better. But at the same time, I've kind of come a long way from not knowing any Japanese at all. So I can't be too hard on myself, and just gotta have a real expectation that you gotta take it one day at a time, and you slowly gotta get better each and every day as long as you put the effort into it. So along with doing the textbooks and writing on the notebook, also sometimes I'll listen to some Japanese content, video content, maybe some shows or some interviews that I'm interested in, and try to pick up on that. Obviously having conversations with people in Japanese, that certainly helps too. So a combination of all those things has really helped with my Japanese progression the past 6 months. And that's where I'm at right now. And the motivation is still there. I still desire to just continue to get better and be more comfortable with what I need to say at certain times. Just continue to learn more vocabulary words so my communication could be a lot clearer. And along the way, it has just been a lot of fun. As hard as it has been, just being able to get out of your comfort zone, be able to talk to people, even at times just giving blank stares because you don't know what they're saying. As embarrassing as that is, it's part of the learning experience, and you just get over it, and that'll make you reassess. Like, oh, what did he say? What is it that I need to say in that scenario where I kind of blanked out? So I kind of reassess it, think about it, and be like, okay, next time around, you gotta say this when he says this and that. So it's all a learning experience, and I just take it in that manner. And so far, it's been going good. So I hope the next time I put the update, maybe in about a year of living here, maybe in 2 months or a year living in Japan, I'll post another video and we'll see how the progression goes. So that's the plan with that. And I think what will help for me too personally is maybe my idea is because I've also been streaming here and there, and I've streamed for multiple years on my other channel and on my Twitch, is trying to make it specific for Japanese learning. And maybe with what I do know, I can be able to teach a little bit on stream or make some type of content that teaches the language with what I know so far. And I think what also helps with learning is actually teaching the material too. And so I think I'm at a point where I feel comfortable teaching maybe certain things or sharing about it, and letting that allowing the teaching to be able to reiterate the things that I've already learned. So that might be another tool or another application that I'll probably apply for me to get better at learning Japanese. So I hope to continue to do so, and maybe a couple months from now I'll provide another update, or maybe I'll provide the update in Japanese, and we'll go from there. So until then, guys, thank you guys so much for the support. I'll see you guys on the next one.